Coming up, Sunday's two Game 7s turned into a pair of blowouts. This is Locked On Now NBA.
The biggest games, the best performances, expert analysis. You are Locked On Now.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now NBA, local experts weighing in on the biggest stories on the hardwood. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Our Locked On NBA hosts are here recapping the playoff action, the two Game 7s on Sunday in the NBA. And this year, there will be a new champion after the Celtics eliminated the Bucks in yesterday's biggest game.
The biggest game.
Boston Celtics fell behind off the tip against the Milwaukee Bucks, but made up ground quickly and then pulled away as the game went along. In Boston, Locked On Celtics was in the Garden to see it all happen.
Hey there, John Corrales here from the Locked On Celtics podcast after a Game 7 win over the Milwaukee Bucks with Chris Forsberg. 109-81, Boston Celtics blowing out Milwaukee in this Game 7. It was a tough start to the game. Milwaukee put up a really big lead early on, double digits early on, behind a near triple-double in the first quarter from Giannis Antetokounmpo. But the Celtics kept it close. They were ice cold to start the game. Then the three-pointers started to fall, and boy, did they fall. Grant Williams was 7 of 18 from three. He scored 27 points in this game. The Kelly Olynyk Award for most unlikely Celtic to make a difference. But it wasn't just the three-point barrage. It was incredible defense by the Boston Celtics. They held Giannis Antetokounmpo to 25 points, which is a real accomplishment for a guy who's been scoring 40. They held the Milwaukee Bucks, a high-powered offense, even without Chris Middleton, to 81 points. Milwaukee shot 4 of 33 from three. Now the Boston Celtics got a quick turnaround in Miami on Tuesday night for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'll be talking about it on the Locked On Celtics podcast, so make sure you're subscribed and watch the show on YouTube.
In an even more lopsided win, the Mavs completely destroyed the Suns in Phoenix. The Mavs led by 30 at halftime, and Locked On Mavs is ready to see the first conference finals of the Luka era in Dallas.
The Dallas Mavericks beat the Phoenix Suns in Game 7 by a margin of victory that doesn't even make sense. Nick Angstead from the Locked On Mavericks podcast here, and no team in NBA history had ever led in a Game 7 by 30 points or more. The Mavericks did that, and they got it all the way up to 42 at one point, and it was 41 points with Dirk in the audience as well there in Phoenix. And it was just an absolute masterclass from Luka Doncic. You could call it the Luka special. I don't know who would say those words specifically, but Luka only had to play 30 minutes in this game, 35 points, 10 boards, just 4 assists. He didn't need any more than that. And at one point, 10 minutes left in the third quarter, Luka had 30 points. The entire Suns team had 27. The Mavericks defense and Luka Doncic combined just created this amalgam of an issue that the Suns just couldn't deal with in this Game 7. The stage was too big for the Phoenix Suns. And one thing that really stands out, this Dallas Mavericks team has had to play with their backs against the wall a lot this season. They, to their own detriment, started out the season 16-18. And then they were fighting to get out of the 7th seed and out of the play-in. They were fighting to get to the 4th seed and get home court advantage. They were fighting when Luka Doncic was out against the Jazz to win against them and to go up 2-1 against them. They were fighting against the Suns when Suns went up 2-0 and the Mavericks could have gone down 3-0, and all of a sudden their season is probably done on the line. They could have gone down when it was Game 6 when the Suns were up 3-2. This Mavericks team has just fought and fought and fought. Luka has been doubled and trapped more than anybody in this entire NBA season. And the Mavericks proved that all of that just weathered them, conditioned them for a moment like this. They were in a Game 7 last year against the Clippers, and now the Mavericks prevail and take on the Golden State Warriors. We'll talk about that and more on tonight's Locked On Mavs.
That's it for today on Locked On Now NBA. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out Locked On NBA and, of course, your team's Locked On podcast now with the Western and Eastern Conference Finals coming up. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Now.